Given the triangle with A equal to 10, B equal to 9, and C is equal to 6, find the missing angles. Now in this case, because we don't know any of the angles, we have to use the law of cosine. So first you need to decide which angle do you want to look for. Angle A, angle B, or angle C. Which one do you prefer? Well, let's look for angle A. Now remember your law of cosine, since we're looking for angle A, we'll start with A squared, which will be 10 squared. So first we're finding A. So 10 squared is equal to the other two sides squared. So that'll be 9 squared plus 6 squared minus 2. Those two sides will get repeated. And the cosine of A, and that's what we're looking for. Now, one of the most common mistakes is that people multiply everything together, and you can't. These ones are adding, so I can multiply those together at once, and then I can multiply these ones together as once. 100 squared is, 10 squared is 100, and 9 squared is 81, but let me just type everything in the calculator. 9 squared plus 6 squared, which is 117, minus 2 multiplied by 9 multiplied by 6, which is 108, multiplied by the cosine of A. Remember, you cannot subtract those two numbers. From here, I can just go and solve it. Move my 117 to the left, because say negative 117. And I have negative 17 is equal to negative 108 cosine of A. I'm going to divide by negative 108 on both sides to leave that cosine by itself. This cancels. So therefore the cosine of A is equal to, if I divide this, gives me 0.15. And I'm going to leave it on the calculator, 0.16. And when I do this, I leave it in the calculator so that way I can just type the inverse cosine of my answer. And that way it gives me 80.9. Let's go and round it up to 81. So the angle A will be equal to 81 degrees. Now to find B, you can use the law of cosine once again. But since I already have an angle on the opposite side, I can use the law of sines. So that'll be B, which will be 9 over the sine of B, which is what I'm looking for, is equal to A, which is 10 over the sine of A, which is 81. From here, I'm going to cross multiply, and I'm going to divide at the same time. And we've done this many times, so you should be used to this process. But I can go through the steps over 10. I'm not going to type that into the calculator. My calculator has the fraction bar, so I'm just going to type that in at once. Makes it a bit easier. So therefore the sine of B is equal to 0.89. And I'm going to take the inverse of that, and I'm going to leave it on the calculator so it gives me a more exact answer. So therefore B is equal to 62.7 or 63 degrees. Now remember that usually if we are looking for the sine, there are two angles that have 0.89. But since we already used the law of cosine, we know that there will not be two triangles. We're just going to have one. So therefore this will be 63 degrees. And to find your last angle, you can use the law of cosine, the law of sine, or we know that all three angles equal to 180. So I can just do 180 minus 81 minus 63. And that gives me 36 degrees. So therefore we found the measurement of all three angles, and that's what we were looking for.